Now that our environment is fully set up, let's get the application running. Open the terminal directly inside PHP Storm. First, we need to compile our frontend asset by running npm run dev. Wait for that process to complete. Once finished, we need to start the local development server to serve our application. So type php artisan serve. You will see the server address in the terminal, usually 127.0.0.1.800. Click that link or paste it directly into your browser. If you see the default Laravel welcome page, congratulations, your installation is successful and we are officially ready to start exploring the project structure and begin coding. Let's start by taking a look at the Laravel project structure. The first folder we have is the app folder. If I open it, you can see that it contains several important subfolders. One of the most important ones is HTTP, where our controllers are placed. And for example, if we want to create a user controller to handle user related logics, we would put it here and use user controller. Next, we have the Bootstrap folder, which is mainly used for Laravel startup files and initialization process. It also contains the providers.php file, which handles some of Laravel's internal bootstrapping. Then we have the config folder, where all of our configuration files are stored. For example, we can manage mail settings here or check the file system configuration to control how files are stored in the application. If needed, we can change these settings later depending on our project requirements. Now let's move to the database folder. As you can see, this folder includes migrations, factories, and seeders. Migrations are used to define the structure of our database table, so it's very important. For example, if you want to do this stuff in Laravel and make your tables, you should come here and create a migration. For example, Laravel already provides the migration for the users table. Inside the migration, we define fields like name as a string, email as a unique string, and other stuff like that. Factories and seeders are used to generate fake data in the database, which is very useful when the project is not in production yet and we want to test how things work. The node module folder contains node packages, and for now we don't need to work with them directly. The public folder is publicly accessible through the Laravel application. If you want to store images, files, or anything that users should be able to access, we usually place them here. Then we have the resources folder. This is where we can keep our CSS and JavaScript files, as well as our blade view files. For example, the welcome.blade.php file is the file we saw earlier when we ran the application. It uses Laravel's Blade engine to combine HTML, CSS, and PHP in a clean way. After that, we have the routes folder. This is where we define the routes of our application. If I open the web.php file, I can define the main routes of the website here. For example, the main route returns the welcome view, which is in the default Laravel page we saw in the browser. Then there is the storage folder, which is used for logs and other advanced framework related data. We also have the tests folder for writing tests in Laravel. The vendor folder contains composer packages and Laravel dependencies, as you can see, and the .env file is one of the most important files in the project. This is where we configure things like the database connection. For example, if the current database connection is set to SQLite, we can change it to MySQL here and provide the required credentials. Note that if you're using XAMPP, your username is usually root and the password is often empty. If it doesn't work for you, you can search for that and find the XAMPP related data. For now, this basic overview of the Laravel folder is enough. You don't need to memorize everything immediately. Just understanding the purpose of these folders will make it much easier to work with Laravel as we move forward.